Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure that Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
All right!
I'll chip-chip-a-roo when the rain starts to pour. I'll chip-chip-a-roo like I always have before.
You do. You always have before.
I always have chip-chip-a-rooed.
Now, did you do that in honor of the Friends reunion a couple weeks ago?
It must have been why it was in my head when I decided to write sometimes I write the chip-chip-a-roos in advance.
That was a very organic one.
You know, despite how bad they are, sometimes they are planned.
And prepared.
Yes.
That was very joyous.
Yeah, it's a very catchy song.
It takes you right back.
I don't have much to say about that reunion. We shut it off.
Well, we missed that Jennifer Aniston and David, is it Schwimmer? Were crushing hard on each other. And then we missed out a little bit on, what's Chandler's name?
Matthew Perry.
About his addiction. So I actually do want to go back and listen to that part. But other than that, I thought it was, can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
It's
just you and me here. No
one's listening. They each got paid $3 million to do this.
Oh my Lord.
I'm just going to tell you what my intuition says. They look like they were paid to be there. They didn't talk about.
I bet that was part of the
contract.
Yeah. Look, we're not here to talk about the Friends cast.
Okay, I'll shut up.
But I will say one thing. They should have just done an episode.
I mean, that would be a gem.
It was ridiculous that they showed them sitting around a table reading a script and just do an episode.
That would have been amazing, like a Thanksgiving episode. Mm-hmm. I just love Thanksgiving. I'm already planning for it. It's only June.
Well, sad to say we've already done our Thanksgiving episode for season 4 of Bob's, but this one has food in it.
I love this episode. We're not ready to get into the episode yet.
But we can get into some food with Bob Pun or Max Pun. What?
I just had a great idea.
Oh, from my singing? You want to start a band?
No.
You want to go to karaoke?
Oh my God, no. You know that's a fear of mine.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Okay. I got it. All right, I can't say anything. I'm brilliant. Okay.
You're going to just leave us all hanging?
I'll fill you guys in a couple weeks.
Okay. You better be listening. It's coming. Okay. Your first pun is... Oh, you know what? These are themed as well. I forgot.
Oh, for what?
Well, it has to do... I've noticed that we do these puns before we talk about the episode title.
Uh-huh.
People who know which episode they clicked on know the episode title is Bob and Deliver, which was based on a film. It was an Academy Award nominated film. These are all Academy Award nominated film puns, burger puns.
Wait, have you seen that movie?
Stand and Deliver?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay, me neither.
But we'll talk about it in a bit.
Okay, cool.
Your first pun is the Citizen Kale Burger.
I love it. That's tough. Bob.
Yes. And I think we've done that before, but to go with the
that was
theme.
A tough one, though.
Your next pun is the Passion of the Cress Burger.
Max.
Bob.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your third pun is Chariots of Fire Roasted Salsa Burger.
You.
Yep.
This kid loves roasted salsa.
Who doesn't love a good roasted salsa?
That is so Max. You wouldn't just say salsa.
Slap some. It had to be fire.
I know.
Pun,
I know.
But slap some fire roasted salsa with corn and beans.
No, I'm a salsa purist. Oh, you would put
on top of a burger, like at the counter where you can like make your own. They have that. I think you slap a scoop of that on top.
I'm not feeling this. I also want to say that I'm a salsa purist, so don't put corn or beans in my salsa unless it's Texas caviar. If you guys have never had that, look it up. It's
That's
so yummy.
more what I was thinking. Yeah. You ready for the last one?
Yeah.
The $1 Million Baby Spinach Burger.
Bob.
Max.
Dang.
And that's it. Those are all the puns I have for you. But we can get into this episode now and talk about that title.
Yeah.
But, Skylar, I'm still going to ask you for the title and synopsis for Season 4, Episode 7, please.
The title is Bob and Deliver.
No way.
Bob steps in as a sub-teacher for Tina's home ec class, and he's a big hit. Meanwhile, Teddy's not looking forward to his cousin's wedding, even though there will be a bounce house, because he doesn't know how to dance. Linda, of course, volunteers to teach him.
This episode came out on December 8th, 2013, was written by Greg Thompson and directed by Don McKinnon. How do you feel about this episode?
I love this episode.
I love this episode too.
I loved it from the very first viewing.
Yes, this is one of the ones that stayed in my memory so that by the next time I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, this episode, I love this one. This is probably the episode, I think, where I officially fell in love with Zeke.
It is.
It's such a great Zeke episode. I love that he's kind of Bob's prize student, and the way he's just don't make broken promises or something like that.
Because Bob is complimenting him. He's afraid to accept that he's good at this. I just love it. It's very actually it plays into kind of some of Dead Poets Society themed.
There's a Dead Poets Society homage at the end of it.
Right. They all stand on the desk and rip their popcorn bags.
Yeah.
Does someone say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain"?
I don't think they say that, but that's what they'd say in Dead Poets Society. But that's what it's supposed to be doing.
So this relationship between Zeke and Bob is very I've unearthed your talent. Nobody believed in you. And he's like, no, I can't believe in myself.
So this is, like I said, is supposed to be a parody of Stand and Deliver, which was a 1988 movie based on a true story about a high school math teacher who comes in and has hope for these students that everyone else is kind of
given up on.
Yeah, and it was Edward James Olmos played the lead, and he was nominated for Academy Award for the role. Mm-hmm. But why I'm giving you all this information is because in the show there's an Edward James almost burger called the Edward James Olive Most burger of the day.
So you're telling me he didn't play him?
He did.
I thought you just said he almost played the lead.
No, Edward James Almost. You can't plan these bits, folks.
That was delightful.
I think that's a common joke with his name, Edward James Almost, which is why it's funny that bit worked out without us planning it.
It was so genuine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really funny about the burger of the day, though. I have to say I'm a sucker for these teachers believing in you stories. You know what?
You're not the only one, because I feel like so many of those, especially in the 90s, the 80s and the 90s, they were just this huge thing. And maybe it had to do with Stand and Deliver. Now, there's probably more before that. But then I can think about stuff like Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I just love them. They make me bawl. And I love Robin Williams. And I feel like he's the icon of this.
Yeah, Dead Poets Society, like you said. Mm-hmm. I'm not thrilled with the B story. I think it's...
What's the B story? Oh.
Linda trying to teach Teddy how to dance. I think it's tough to create a whole storyline with that, because it's really just continuing to check back on them dancing.
Yeah, it's not enough meat to be a full B story, but I'm okay with it because I wanted to spend all that time we were in the school with those kids. So I think maybe they should have done something even smaller. And then I guess our runner is Tina wanting to be her dad's teacher's pet and thinking she's a shoo-in for it and it not working out. I love it. I
love it too. And we have not mentioned it, but this is a Jocelyn heavy episode as well.
But without Tammy.
Without Tammy. I think this is before they really started pairing them up. I think Jocelyn is not quite full Jocelyn yet. Still.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm monitoring her.
Damn, I wish I would have, because way long ago, I had this little bit we did on the podcast that was like, how did Jocelyn make you laugh in this episode? And I should have looked up some funny lines because she has great one-liners in this episode.
She does.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah. So I only have one more fun fact for you, and then we can get into talking about these credits a little bit. But this is funny. The German title of this episode, it was not Bob and Deliver, because I guess that wouldn't have made sense. So the German title was Oh Bob, Mein Bob.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's just as good.
Oh, that's delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Should we get into these credits?
Let's do it.
Okay. We'll play the last few moments as always. What's happening at the end of this episode is that they've brought the home exterant, is that what they call it? Mm-hmm. For one last hurrah, they're serving in the cafeteria. Louise and Jean, Louise is the hostess, Jean is the waiter. Tina and Bob are going to have a little lunch together. It's lovely.
Seltzer party of 2. Your server will be right with you.
Hi, how's everybody's day so far?
Getting better.
Fantastic. I'll be back with some waters and tell you about our specials.
I could really use someone like him back at the restaurant.
Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Okay, tell me what's happening there. We go straight from that scene where Jean is an incredible waiter for some reason.
Can I rewind just a little bit because I love this episode so much. This is a really cute father-daughter moment between Tina and Bob, and him realizing that he was kind of neglecting her a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm realizing they're so good at getting those moments in right before the credits.
Yes. Yeah. It's true. But they always do something funny. There's always that tag at the end,
there's
which I love.
A little bit of heart and a little laugh, and then let's get to those end credits.
But something that I wanted to say in the car this morning, but we were like, save it for the mic.
Skylar and I no longer have conversations with each other. We can't. We always we gotta save it for the podcast. Save it for the pod.
We can't have Bob related conversations.
Any conversations. Skylar and I sit in silence all week long until we sit down to record.
I mean, you do. I kind of just talk at you throughout the week.
Yeah, but that's me. I don't talk.
I love seeing Bob win.
Yes.
He doesn't have a lot of wins. That's why I love this episode so much.
It's beautiful.
He has a successful restaurant. He awakens the kids. And that makes me really happy.
Makes me happy too.
That's what I wanted to say in the car this morning.
Oh my God, that would have been a beautiful moment, and I ruined it by saying we got to save it for the podcast.
Shut up.
Stop. This isn't we can't just give this information away for free to nobody. We got to wait till we have people listening to you. And then it cuts to the end credits. We're not in the restaurant.
We kind of hear some sounds.
We hear some ooh, kind of. And we see a bounce house.
Black and white
bounce house with 2 women walking in front of it. They're kind of dressed somewhat fancy, and they're in color.
It's like a casual fancy wedding.
Like a backyard wedding, maybe.
I mean, there's a bounce house.
Yeah.
Ow! I'm dancing so high! I'm dancing so high!
Okay, so it zooms into... We're kind of just outside the bounce house window, and we're looking in, and Teddy's looking right at the camera. He's bouncing in the bounce house, having the time of his life.
I think that line, I'm dancing so high, is really funny.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's just a little skewed. I love him in a suit. Do you like Teddy's suit? I think he cleans up nice.
I do. I wish Teddy would wear a suit more frequently.
Yeah.
But he still got his little beanie on.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Okay, so he's really jumping.
Yeah, he's getting some good height on these things.
Someone get in here with me! Someone get in here! Come on.
He's sad that no one's in there with him. I have a question. The bounce house, can you really get a good bounce in there without someone else in there with you? I feel like part of that is getting the leverage.
I think you can.
It's not like a trampoline. Well, I guess a trampoline you can get a little bounce, but if you really want to get high, you need someone else in there.
No, that's a double bounce that sends you really high. You can, of course, bounce high.
When I had a trampoline as a kid in my backyard, this was in the 90s before you had those gates around your trampoline.
The net, yeah. We
Kids
did not have nets.
You would jump with someone else, and someone would time it so that when you were coming down, they jumped and launched you. Like, you would get so much height. It was so dangerous.
It was so fun.
We had so many injuries on that thing.
Really?
Yes.
No, you can fly off.
It's like they started taking care of kids in the 2000s.
Yeah.
My trampoline was a mess.
I was very into like tumbling when I had my trampoline. So I was doing back tucks and handsprings and falling off that thing. I do remember a nice summer afternoon on the trampoline, Britney Spears' first album blasting.
Oh my God, I thought you were going to say you were on the trampoline with Britney Spears. I was like, what? Why have you not told me about this part of your life?
Well, you didn't tell me you had a waterbed for like 5 years of your life. I just learned this last night, guys.
I should have led with that.
You should have led with that because it's very bounce house-esque.
Yeah, waterbeds were the most ridiculous inventions, and the fact that people had them, it makes no sense to me.
But not only did you have one, you had it for like a million years.
I had it for much longer than you should have had a waterbed for. I got it around the time that was probably okay to have a waterbed when people had them, but I had it for way too long. It messed my back up. To this day, I blame some of my back problems on that waterbed.
I would think so.
Sleeping on a waterbed during my body's most formative years.
Your most formative years.
And the trampoline. I'd say those two are what did it.
So fun.
Oh, the 90s should not have been a thing.
So I'm glad. What? They were the best thing.
You're right.
No cell phones. Well, no, we had cell phones, but no.
But they weren't smartphones.
Not smartphones.
Yeah, and we didn't really have, we didn't all have them.
You didn't
until
text
later.
people.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Teddy is having like a joyful 90s moment, I guess.
Me too. And I'm also he was so nervous about this wedding. He's having a blast, it seems like, even though he's alone in the bounce house.
I know. I hate to take us off track. We
just went on a waterbed tangent.
Okay, but that was worth it.
Okay.
That was worth it. Going to huge events by yourself is just horrifying to me. It's so scary.
I don't even like going to huge events with someone else.
Oh, we have so much fun.
We do, because I've got you.
I got you, baby.
I got you. I would be all in this bounce house with you.
Oh, I would be all up in this bounce house with you.
But if there were a bunch of people in there,
No, that's what I was going to say. I hate when you're in the bounce house and when you do the opposite of the double bounce and it brings you back. You can't get the bounce and you just
buckle.
feel like
your knees buckle.
Yeah, kind of. That's my experience with bounce houses. It's just too many people all the time jumping, so you can't really get high.
Bounce houses are like hot tubs to me.
Yeah.
You can't have too many people in there. It's got to be one or two people, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not an enjoyable experience.
I agree. So he's like, someone get in here with me. And then his eyes pop open in a stark realization as he grips his stomach and mouth because he's definitely about to vomit.
Yes. I'm going to go back a little bit so we can hear that moment.
Great.
I'm dancing so high. Someone get in here with me. Someone get in here. Come. Oh God. Oh no. Oh.
Okay, so he runs off camera.
Yeah.
We don't know. Do you think he got out of the bounce house before he starts vomiting?
I think I need more information to know that, but that's a really good question.
I hope he did.
This is a really funny kind of comedic moment, no one in frame, just the bounce house, and everything is happening off screen. I think that's really funny.
And I love the little music in the background too. Yeah. It's fun. I wonder if that's music. Do you think that's just Teddy's bounce house music? It's playing what's the word for when it's playing in
the world? I think it's definitely in the world. I think it's definitely it's the wedding music.
You think it's wedding music, or you just think it's Teddy's bounce house music over what he's doing?
I think it's definitely wedding music because all the adults are on the dance floor.
It kind of sounds a little bit like you make me wanna shout, kick my heels up and shout.
Yeah, this wedding would totally play that.
Every wedding plays that.
That's why we're not having a wedding.
Right. We don't want to have to play shout. Well, we do. You and I can dance the shout. I'd have a blast. I just don't want to do it with a person who it follows me on Facebook that I have to invite because you know.
I hear you, but like out of all the songs, I actually don't want to dance to Shout.
It's hard not to dance to Shout. Have you ever tried to listen to Shout and not like dance to it?
Have you ever danced sober to Shout?
No.
Well, I'm a sober girl now, so I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Let's pick another song. If we're not going to the wedding and we're just dancing, the two of us in our apartment, I would prefer it not to be Shout.
Okay. How about let's just play one of Britney's albums.
Perfect.
And do it to that. So Teddy is off and vomiting, hopefully outside of the bounce house.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not though.
Do not come in here.
Okay, wait a second. We just had it answered. I'm gonna go back so we can hear that again.
Someone get in here. Come. Oh God. Oh no. Oh. Do not come in here. Nobody come in here. Someone threw up at the bounce house.
Okay, so
there's your answer.
It's so funny because we've watched these before numerous times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he threw up in the bounce house.
Did you hear him zip up the bounce house?
I thought he zipped it out to get out, but you think he went, you're right. He went out and zipped it closed so no one would go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so then we see Teddy on the other side, through the other window, and there's some like kids who look like they're kind of like, oh, a bounce house. I think we'll go in there. And Teddy's trying to stop them.
Yeah. He's like, no, someone threw up in the bounce house.
Definitely not Teddy. You don't want to be responsible for that.
Kids, you can't go to the bounce house. Someone threw up in there. I don't know what happened. I don't know who wants to dance.
I like how he still kind of sounds like he's chewing back some chunks.
But I hear it too.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know.
Stop.
Oh, she's mad at me. This is a recurring thing on this. There's a lot of vomit to talk about.
You should respect my sensitive stomach.
Biscuit's upset. Biscuit got out of his bed and he's upset.
He's upset with you. He's so childlike. Like, if I threw up in a bounce house, I would be an adult. I'd be like, shit, I gotta go get some paper towels. BRB. I'd have my little spray bottle. But he acts exactly like you would if you were 7 and threw up in a bounce house.
This is what I would do if I threw up in a bounce house at a wedding now.
You would?
If I was solo, I would throw up. I would not go claim it. I would work my way out and be like, someone did something in there, and definitely not try to do.
This is a summer wedding.
Yeah, okay.
It's hot outside.
Sure.
You're going to leave that vomit to waft into the wedding.
Not my problem. Someone else did it.
Oh my God. This is what we were talking about Buddhism the other day. You got to live life on life's terms. You got to clean up the vomit.
That's not in Buddhism.
We were just talking about this, that like shitty things happen, and instead of getting all frustrated about it, you just deal with it.
Oh, that's how I deal with it. I let it go.
That is not dealing with it.
And kindly leave the bounce house and go dance on the dance floor. Oh, is that Shout? I got to go dance.
Okay.
So those are the end credits to Bob and Deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Highlights, lowlights.
Okay, I have a question for you first. I'm not going to say, are the credits better than the episode? Because we know the answer is no. Are the credits better than the B story?
Yes, 100%. The credits obviously are because of the B story and everything he said, but those could have just like taken place without the B story, just knowing Teddy's going to a wedding, and I would have been thrilled with them. I think they're funny.
Why this works for me so much is we rarely get like, it's so off skew. It's not like, of course it ties into the episode. Like it could have been him and Linda doing a dance routine together. Like, but it's so, you're not expecting it in the slightest. And they give us this full scene and it feels really developed, and that's super satisfying to me.
I agree. It's like you said, like so far from the obvious, but when you hear about Teddy, a wedding, dancing, bounce house, you want to see that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's one of the funnier lines of the episode.
Yeah. So we were talking about this last week, like when the credits take place and stuff. This is a continuation of the story. This is the end of Teddy's storyline.
Exactly.
We've already concluded the episode. And as much as it would make sense to do something maybe like Bob cooking school with the students related, we get to finish Teddy's story and see what happens with Teddy. And Teddy is so funny, and it's a very Teddy moment. Like, that's exactly how Teddy would act in a bounce house. It's exactly how Teddy would act after he vomited in a bounce house, you know? So I enjoy them. I like the lack of like music where it's mostly just Teddy bouncing in a bounce house noises and his like, whoa, oh, wow. I can't do Teddy impressions, but.
Oh my gosh, so much I want to comment back on there. Yeah, I think the episode, the A story that we love so much, it's super satisfying. I don't actually feel like I need more from that.
I agree.
They wrap it up so well that I think it's the right choice.
Yeah, I agree. Are you ready to score?
Yeah.
Okay. We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's Skylar, what do you give these end credits?
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5.
What are you going to give it?
I'm going to go a little bit higher and give them a 9 H's.
I really thought you were going to be upset with these, that it wasn't in the kitchen, that it didn't have to do with your favorite storyline.
You know what's funny is first time around, I would have been like, meh. But again, after analyzing it and watching these over and my appreciation for Teddy through multiple viewings of this series is so much larger than it was at this point the first time we watched it around.
Exactly.
So it's definitely much higher. I like, as much as I don't like when it's not in the kitchen, I like how last week's episode was so animated and so musical and so much was going on. And this is very simple. And I enjoyed that.
You know, I'm going to bump mine up.
Okay.
I'll match you because I like when they hold back more and it works. Like when they hold back too much and you're like, oh, but you could have done this. And I don't like that. But like sometimes what makes the credits really work is the simplicity. And this totally nails it for me. There's one season, I always talk about it, and they're all like musical and you're never in the kitchen. And that's my least favorite credit season. We'll get to it. And Teddy being Teddy is so good. And we don't get to hold on him that long because this isn't a show about him. So yeah, that was lovely.
I'm with you. I like a 9 H's on that one.
Yeah.
Anything else before we wrap this baby
I think
up?
we're good.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening. Skylar and I have to go dance to Shout in the living room. So please follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Bob's Credits. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Bob's Credits. Pay attention to our Patreon because we're getting some good stuff coming up. And
what did the social media people say?
Yeah.
Keep an eye on this space for an announcement.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that? That's a thing.
Just go open up our Patreon and just stare at it and keep clicking refresh until it happens. Leave us a review. Please. It helps us out. Tell your friends about us. Tell your kids about us. Tell your parents about us. Tell your dog about us. Tell someone you meet at a wedding about
your
us.
Your Aunt Gail.
Tell your Aunt Gail about us. Skylar, anything else you want to tell the folks at home before we get out of here?
I'm going to say stay bounce housey.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Little kid in ya.
You know you make me want to shout. Shout.